Devil May Cry 3 is a fast-paced action-adventure hack-and-slash game. One of its standout features is the deep combat system that allows you to seamlessly switch between two main weapons and two guns to pull off some stylish combos. In this video, we're taking on the challenge of relying only on guns. Normally, guns are used for long-ranged attacks and extending combos, with the downside being they deal way less damage. Will it be possible to finish the game with just guns? Let's find out. Here are the challenge rules. It will be a new save file on normal difficulty, no consumable items such as vital stars, gold orbs, etc, etc, etc. We must use the gunslinger style, and we can only deal damage with weapons that are guns. This is a story of the two sons of Sparta, Dante and Virgil. We are introduced to Dante, who is greeted by a mysterious man. They inform us that his brother has sent an invitation. Man, that was quite the invitation. But no matter, it'll take more than that to stop Dante. Mission 1. Let me show you what Dante is capable of. Alright, it is time to prepare for the first combat encounter. Dante starts with 4 unique combat styles. They are
Trickster, Swordmaster, Gunslinger, Royal Guard.
As per the rules of the challenge, we'll go with Gunslinger. In terms of guns, we start with the ebony and ivory pistols, which will be our main damage dealers for the whole run. With the pistols, you normally have to press the shoot button each time for each bullet that is fired. However, in Gunslinger mode, you can fire twice as fast by alternating between the shoot button and the style button. I use this combination when I'm at a safe distance, as it's hard to move Dante while focusing on pressing the 2 buttons in quick succession. This first mission is pretty straightforward. It just has regular enemies, so there is not much to talk about here. We are introduced to red orbs, which are the currency which we will use to upgrade our gear later on. This mission also took a lot longer than it would normally, and, well...
I can already tell. Looks like this is gonna be one hell of a party!
We head to the outside of our shop and chuck on the famous red jacket. Mission 2. This mission starts off very similar to the last mission, and regular enemies are no threat to Dante. Another tactic I use in this mission now that there is more space is to make sure the enemies are off screen. When enemies are off screen, they will not target Dante, so you can safely deal damage. This run will be an endurance test, so it's all about conserving as much health as possible. With the regular enemies defeated, we are introduced to our first boss battle, the Hell Vanguard. This boss only has a couple of attacks, but I was still a bit rusty as I haven't played this game for a while, so I did take some damage. But essentially, every time it teleports away, you just need to dodge the incoming attack. With the Hell Vanguard finally defeated, we look towards the city to see a large tower emerging out of the ground. We see that Virgil is sitting atop of it with the man from earlier, now known as Arkham. We learn that they are after Dante's amulet, as Dante has no idea of the true power it holds. Back with Dante, we see a woman on a motorbike. She seems to be in quite the hurry and leaves before we can even say hello. Mission 3. This mission starts out with some basic enemies that we have no trouble with. Once they are taken care of, we head into the Bullseye Bar, and this is where we face our first main obstacle. To get access to the shotgun, we must activate this device on the wall. The only problem is we must use a melee weapon to activate it, as our guns have no effect, so it looks like this run is over. However, if we ignore this first device, theoretically you can complete the rest of the obstacles like this with guns only. All you need is the shotgun, and you also need to be at the level 3 gunslinger style. When you hit level 3, you gain access to the gun stinger move, which counts as a melee hit with your gun. I did not feel like grinding up to level 3 just for a non-combat related puzzle, as that's not what the challenge is about. So if we all just use our imagination and pretend that this footage that I'm now showing you is what actually happened, we can continue the run. We will talk about the gun stinger move again later on in the run. We pick up the shotgun and head on into the next room. The shotgun is useful early on as it gives me a way to stun and knock enemies back. This is handy as I can now defend myself in close quarters combat, but as it stands the pistols will still be my main damage dealers. Outside we encounter our first red orb crystal, and unfortunately we can't destroy them with guns, so we lose out on a large amount of orbs. We also find our first blue orb fragment piece. When I collect 4 of these, I gain an extra bar of health. I'll try to collect as many of these as I can throughout the run. I then make one last stop to upgrade ebony and ivory to level 2 before we head inside the tower. Inside we are greeted by the gatekeeper of the tower, Cerberus. It was time to put our skills to the test. For this fight, I kept to the left, as a lot of their attacks cannot reach you in this corner. The only real threat was the icicles falling from the sky, but if you watch the floor when Cerberus howls, it's quite easy to dodge. It was then just a matter of time before I finally defeated them. When Dante defeats a demon of significance, they give him their soul to help. This results in many new weapons such as the nunchucks. Unfortunately, these will be no use for the challenge.
This just keeps getting better and better.
Suddenly, the woman from earlier appears, and she doesn't seem too friendly, but she's got nothing on Dante. Mission 4. We are given a glimpse into what Virgil and Arkham are up to. It appears that they are aware of the woman who has entered the tower. Arkham mentions he has a connection to her and will deal with her personally. We are now back with Dante, and our quest to climb the tower begins. I avoid all the optional battles to conserve my health. Our first mandatory battle of the mission has multiple Enigma enemies that can be a real pain with their ranged attacks. So I focus on them first and then deal with the rest of the enemies. Our second battle is pretty straightforward. I just need to be careful of the Hell Wraths who explode when you shoot them. But besides that, it was all good. We head into the next room and meet the next boss, the Gigapede. This boss fight's a bit how you going. With guns, the Gigapede takes very little damage. I just decided to play it safe and stand on the platform for most of the fight to avoid all incoming damage. It was just a matter of time before I was victorious. With the Gigapede defeated, we head into the next room and pick up the astronomical board. When we attempt to head back out, we are greeted by a strange-looking creature.
My name is Jester, and I know a thing or two about this place.
Dante has had enough of his antics, and the Jester provides the information we need to open the door. We start the next mission by upgrading Ebony and Ivory to level 3. Mission 5. In the previous room we are greeted by a new enemy type, the Blood Goyles. These enemies require you to shoot them to turn them into stone, and then you can finish them off. So for a gun-only run, they're not bad to deal with. We then head into the teleporter and meet our good friend Jester. The fight with Jester is quite easy. You can deal a fair amount of damage to him and keep him stunned. Once he summons the balls, I just focus on dodging them until he stops. And just like that, he is defeated. He gives me a little tease on his escape, but I'll see him later on. Back inside the tower, we use the astronomical board to then pick up the Vajura weapon. We shove Vajura in here and activate the mechanism to open the cage. This allows us to grab the solar steel to be able to access the higher floors. We trust our intuition and walk along the invisible pathway to reach outside. We then enter the room that is guarded by Agni and Rudra. These two menaces won't stop yapping, which infuriates Dante, and you don't want to mess with him when he's fired up.
You scared?
I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all wanna ring. Yeah, we all wanna be free. So show me what you got, what you bring, how you fight in the ring, how you take a fucking swing. Do you got heart? Are you mean? Got some scars, got some needs. Are you willing to go bleed? I swear to God, they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown.
With Agni and Rudra defeated, they join my backpack to never be seen again.
No talking. Good.
We see the lady once more, and she showcases what a true guns only run looks like. Mission 6. This mission involves 3 trials. The first trial is all about wisdom, which I have none of. Luckily, I have the internet to recall the solution to this puzzle. We gather the essence of intelligence and head to the next trial. The trial of skill is all about dodging these spikes, which I'm really good at.
Ah! Impossible!
Anyway, I get the essence of technique and continue on. We insert the 2 essences into the statue to unblock the next door. Outside, we see the woman once more, and she's greeted by Arkham. It is revealed that Arkham is her father. That's quite the family reunion. Luckily, the hero is here to save the day. She's not very grateful and shoots Dante. But that only deals 1 health bar of damage, so we're all good, and we continue our climb up the tower. Mission 7. We meet some new enemies. The first are the chess pieces, which we can skip for now, but we'll encounter them later on. In the next room, we encounter the Hell Greeds. These enemies on their own are pretty easy to deal with, but if you take too long, they can cause some real trouble. They'll keep summoning more enemies, so it is crucial that you take them out first. With the room cleared, we grab the Siren Shriek and then do everyone's favourite thing, backtracking. We can now open up this room by dispelling the flames. Inside, we are introduced to a new puzzle that would normally require the sword. This ball and chain is bulletproof, so I try out the Gunstinger move once more. Unfortunately, it didn't do enough damage in the short time frame. On to Plan 2. A weapon you receive later in the story, Kalina Ann, also has a melee ability. By utilizing this move, I theoretically could keep a guns-only run alive, as long as it was the second playthrough with all the weapons unlocked. The fight in this room is surprisingly quite tough, as you can get overwhelmed quite quickly with the speedy enemies. But I love a good challenge. With the crystal skull in our possession, we can unlock the final door to reach the top of the tower, where a certain someone awaits us. Outside, it seems a storm is approaching with some black clouds in isolation. No matter, we have a score to settle with our dear brother.
You showed up.
You sure know how to throw a party. No food, no drinks, and the only babe just left.
My sincerest apology, brother. I was so eager to see you, I couldn't concentrate on preparations for the bash.
Whatever. At any rate, it's been a whole year since we last met. How about a kiss from your little brother? Or better yet, how about a kiss from this?
Where's your motivation?
For this fight, I was able to lure Virgil into repeating the same move over and over. This gave me a golden opportunity to deal damage and stay safe.
Come on, wimp.
Don't get so cocky.
For the second half of the fight, he decided to switch it up, but he's still no match for Ebony and Ivory.
Is that it? Come on!
Now I'm a little motivated. Foolishness, Dante. Foolishness. Might controls everything. And without strength, you cannot protect any of them. Let alone yourself.
With Dante defeated, Virgil and Arkham now have all the pieces of the puzzle to open up the demon world.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah. You know I'm always honest. There ain't no way I'm ever stopping. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
Dante's near-death experience gives him the motivation required to awaken his Devil Trigger form. This will be a nice power boost for the rest of the run. We shall press on and get back on the road again. Mission 8. I have no words to explain what happens next, but it is essentially the Devil May Cry series in a nutshell. Mission 8 is probably one of my least favourite missions. We start trapped inside the Leviathan, and it's essentially just a filler mission, so we'll zoom through. Now that we have Devil Trigger, I spend some of my red orbs to increase its duration, as well as increase my health slightly. In combat, when you change into Devil Trigger form, the most important aspect is it gives you gradual healing. So I can now park the bus like Jose if required, and heal myself back up in any encounter. We grab the Ignis Fatuus, and use it to fight the Leviathan from the inside. For this battle, you need to deplete either side of its health before you can target the main boss. A few basic enemies will follow you the whole fight, which are more of an annoyance than a real threat, and you just need to dodge a couple lasers. Sometime later, the mission is complete. Leviathan falls out of the sky and conveniently lands right next to the woman from earlier. As she goes to investigate, our hero Dante emerges. They exchange some flirtatious words before teaming up. Dante asks for her name, and it's revealed she doesn't have one. So we'll just call her Lady, like Dante does. Mission 9. In this mission, we encounter a new enemy type, the spiders. These are nothing new for me, but unlike real life, they take a long-ass time to kill. But fortunately, they're easy enough to dodge, so it's just a test of my patience. Moving on, we pick up a new gun, the Spiral Rifle. This is probably one of my favourite weapons, so I'll be using it for most of the run from here on out. Normally this weapon is quite slow. When I tested 3 shots, it took almost 5 seconds. However, when you switch between the pistols and the rifle, you can speed up the fire rate to almost double the speed. And this is where its true power is unlocked. When using it on basic enemies, it also stun locks them, so it's a powerful and safe weapon to use. We pick up the Ambrosia and unlock the door to the next boss battle. In this room, we're greeted by a woman that instantly starts trying to seduce Dante.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Must be nice. Anyway, her name is Nevin. Now, this fight was ridiculous. Not because it was difficult, but because of how long it took. Before you can damage Nevin, you must destroy the bats that are surrounding her, and usually you would just use melee attacks to dispose of them quickly. Instead, we must suffer an eternity of anguish, slowly whittling them down with the pistols. Once the bats are defeated, you have a few seconds to damage her before the cycle resets. Got to the point where I had to pause the game mid-fight because my hand was sore. It wasn't because of what Nevin looks like, I swear. Towards the end of the fight, it became a bit easier to damage her as she locks in on you with no bats to protect her. After 15 long minutes, Nevin was finally taken down. She dramatically admits defeat and turns into a guitar, because why not? In classic Dante fashion, he decides to not let the opportunity slip to showcase some of his rock star skills. Meanwhile, Arkham and Virgil discuss their plans together now that they have both of the amulets. Virgil, as a son of Sparta, must use his own blood to lift the incantation. Virgil has second thoughts about his alliance as he realizes that Arkham is not as ruthless as he is. Virgil only cares about getting more power and won't let anyone stand in his way. Mission 10. Now back with Dante, we grab the stone mask to activate the bridge. This allows us to grab the Neo generator. Allegedly, this can supply power for an eternity. We encounter another new enemy, the Dullahan. These enemies are bulletproof, so I tested the Gunstinger move on them. I managed to get them down to the final bit of health, but I just couldn't finish them off.
Why isn't this working? Is there something missing?
Using the Kalina Ann, they die in 2 hits, so I'm not sure what was happening, but I spent a solid 30 minutes attacking them with the Gunstinger to no avail. We reach the bridge, and it turns out Dante is familiar with the best sport in the world. He volleys the Neo generator to activate the bridge so we can continue on. In the next room, we meet Lady once more. She believes we killed Arkham, and Dante toys with her as she's zero threat. She trauma dumps on us, revealing that Arkham sacrificed his wife, which is her mother, to try become a demon himself.
Well, we have something in common. I have a dysfunctional family too.
After revealing all the information, she wants us to leave and not help? Whatever. Mission 11. Suddenly, Arkham wakes up. He tries to act innocent and Lady falls right into his trap. He says that he was possessed by a demon and that's the only reason he did bad things. That demon was named Virgil. In this mission, we encounter another puzzle that usually requires the sword, but with the gunstinger, it's no problems. The rest of the mission is pretty straightforward until we reach the final room. We are confronted by a large demon named Beowulf. He has a vendetta against Dante's father and can smell Sparta on him. It leaves us no choice but to fight. For this fight, I stayed up close early on as his 3-hit combo is easy to dodge. Once Beowulf has lost about a third of his health, he starts throwing cages at you. For this attack, I sit back and dodge them more effectively. The only attack I really struggle with was when he expands his wings and shoots projectiles at you, but with Devil Trigger, I can just tank the hits and heal back up, so it's no big deal. Once Beowulf was defeated, we blind them by slicing their eye and they retreat, vowing to hunt us down for eternity. We pick up the next Neo generator, but it saps our strength. We are greeted by the menace himself, Jester. He is a bit of an exposition machine and informs Dante on Virgil's plans.
Power jutting out of the ground. That thick shaft that causes women to shudder is actually a tunnel, linking the demonic domain to the human world. And of course, your brother Virgil is the one who controls it by using your mommy's amulet.
After hearing what we need to do next, Jester leaves. Mission 12. This mission is a race against the clock as you backtrack through the level to the bridge. Once we reach the bridge, we can move it once more and reach a new area. We are greeted with yet another boss battle.
Talk about horsepower.
This time we fight the demon horse, Geryon. I feel like for this battle I just use my normal strategy for most of it, as it's hard to get close to them when they are attacking. I just simply shoot between dodges until they get staggered. Well, that's Geryon gone, carry on. Now room and shambles. We switch back to Virgil to see he has entered the chamber to perform the ritual. Beowulf emerges and believes he has found Dante based on the scent. Virgil makes quick work of him and absorbs his soul to create a new weapon for himself. Back on task, Virgil links amulets before using some of his own blood to break the spell. More on that later. Mission 13. This mission begins with some more chess pieces. These enemies can't be stunned with the rifle, so I make sure to keep my distance to not get overwhelmed. With that encounter complete, we move on to the next room with the lights. You can destroy these with Gunstinger, which allows us to pick up the Orichalcum, which is needed to open up the next door to meet Virgil. The meeting with Virgil went a little something like this. Let them go, Virgil. Let them go. You've turned against me? You have done that yourself. You will not take them from me. Your anger and your lust for power have already done that. You have allowed this Arkham to twist your mind until now. Until now you have become the very thing you swore to destroy. Don't lecture me, Dante. I see through the lies of the humans. I don't fear the demon side like you do. I've brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire. Your new empire? Don't make me kill you. Virgil, my allegiance is to the humans, to democracy, If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must. You will try.
You're going down.
For this fight, I just played defensive and would attack every time he would use the aerial attack, as it's easy to dodge.
How boring.
If I got hit, I'd activate my Devil Trigger to break free from Virgil's combos.
Scum.
In this fight, Virgil can also activate his own Devil Trigger, so it's an evenly matched fight between the brothers.
Now I'm a little motivated.
I've no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with
You're not worthy as my opponent.
Come and get me. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right, and see life do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right, and see life do what you want. So give me all the
Sweet dreams. Ridiculous.
With the battle complete, we are interrupted by Lady, but the two brothers are unfazed by her, as she's no match for them.
Foolish girl.
Then once again Jester arrives, and we find out he's actually Arkham all along. Arkham was the mastermind behind everything, and lured all three of them into the chamber so he could activate the portal to the demon world for himself. The final piece of the puzzle was that he needed blood from Lady as well. In a 3v1 scenario, he stands no chance against us. Or maybe not. After falling from the tower, Lady and Dante reunite. Lady states that she's going to deal with Arkham herself as it's a family matter. Dante knows deep down she'll need some help, so he also begins his journey up the tower. Mission 14. In this mission we meet yet another roadblock. This statue requires you to use Beowulf, which is a melee weapon to unlock the door. So even if you're able to get to this point, the run would end here. But from a theoretical perspective, we could still be okay on a second playthrough as this statue would already be destroyed. Unlike Lady, Dante is smart, takes the elevator up to the higher levels. For this mission we just do some backtracking to make it back to the entrance of the tower, where we find Lady's old motorcycle. Let's rev it up! I guess there are moments when Slow and Steady doesn't win the race. Sorry, Lady. Mission 15. In this mission we are introduced to one of the worst basic enemies, the Fallen. These enemies have bulletproof wings, so the only way I can damage them is by timing the bounce and attack just after they lunge at me. Once I got used to the attack patterns, it wasn't too bad, as I never really was in any danger, but it was very time consuming for just a regular enemy. We continue the mission and have to find 3 fragments. I essentially just run past every enemy that I can to pick up all the fragments. With all the pieces, we open up the elevator. Meanwhile, Arkham at the top of the tower has finally completed the ritual. The portal to the demon world has been opened. Dante's devil senses are tingling as they can sense what has unfolded. Mission 16. For this mission we begin by collecting the Onyx Moon Shard and then get the Golden Sun. These allow us to unlock the door to continue on. We press on and meet the lovely lady in the library. They argue about who should deal with the whole situation. Dante believes she is too weak as a human and that he should handle it so she doesn't get hurt. The lady insists that it is her problem to deal with, as it's a family matter.
Can't just sit back and watch either. I'm pretty pissed at him too, you know. Now, get out of my way, or there'll be some consequences.
Fair enough. I wasn't planning on letting any demons live anyway.
If you're expecting some epic fight, I'm sorry to disappoint. It is pretty easy to lure her into shooting her missiles into the wall, so I don't think Dante was ever in any danger. I suppose it's how the fight would go in canon anyway. Now that Lady is defeated, we get another chance to reason with her.
I'll take care of him.
Why do you care so much?
This whole business started with my father sealing the entrance between the two worlds. And now, my brother's trying to break that spell and turn everything into Demonville. This is my family matter too. Quite frankly, at first, I didn't give a damn. But because of you, I know what's important now. I know what I need to do.
Wait.
Trust me, I'll make things right for you. That's what my soul is telling me to do.
Use this.
How much is it gonna cost me?
You can give me your name.
Dante.
Dante. Please. Free my father.
I will, lady.
Meanwhile, Arkham fuses the two amulets with the Force-Edge sword to gain Sparta's power. We will come back to him soon. Mission 17. Before starting this mission, I went back and leveled up my gunslinger style to level 3 so I could use the gunstinger move. I wanted to be able to do this mission the correct way and not cheat in the boss fight. This mission is all about climbing back to the top of the tower. We do some platforming, which is really good fun without air hike, and then we meet some Delahan enemies. Now that Lady gave us her Kalina Ann weapon, they are no problem at all. We reach the top of the tower and are greeted by our very own doppelganger. For this fight, you need to turn on the lights to be able to damage the doppelganger. With the gunstinger move, I can damage the lights to activate them and stun doppelganger once all of them are on. This allows me to deal a decent chunk of damage each rotation. I just repeated this a few times and they were defeated. Dante and I must be thinking the same thing right now. Who is that handsome devil?
Well then, let's wrap up this crazy party, shall we?
Mission 18. We ascend into the sky to enter the demon world. This is a place where we will be challenged with multiple combat encounters back to back. We need to defeat some bosses again to create a connected circuit in this stone tablet. I decide to do the least amount of work possible and take out Beowulf first. Then Agni and Rudra. And lastly, Cerberus. With all three defeated, we can continue on. Mission 19. Back in the library, we see Lady, who hasn't moved at all. A mysterious person in blue walks past her and heads to the top of the tower. I wonder who that could be. Back with Dante, we have to go through some combat trials to progress the story. The first battle is just some regular enemies, so no problems here. Up next, we have to destroy these mirrors, and luckily the rifle could damage them. Lastly, we have a time challenge, and initially I was a bit worried I'd run out of time here, but I completed it first time. With them all complete, we can now confront Arkham. Arkham has absorbed Sparta's power and taken on his appearance. This is going to be an epic duel between demons. Wait.
What the hell is this?
For this fight, I use Ebony and Ivory to damage Arkham from a distance. When he summons his minions, I swap to the Kalina Ann to do some AoE damage. This helps clear out the cluster of enemies real quick.
What was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put.
At the halfway point of this fight, something interesting happens.
Where's your motivation?
I've come to retrieve my power.
You can't handle it.
Look at you, making a big dramatic entrance and stealing my spotlight.
What? You don't possibly believe that he deserves to be our main event now, do you?
Now that you mention it, you're right.
With Virgil to help us, we can deal a bit more damage, but at the cost of losing the ability to use our Devil Trigger to heal. So I need to be more careful in this second phase.
Let's go. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all wanna ring. Yeah, we all wanna be free. So show me what you got, what you bring, how you...
Jackpot.
With Arkham defeated, the sword and amulets have returned. Virgil wastes no time to go after them, and Dante follows in pursuit. Back in the human world, Lady finds the weakened Arkham as he falls to the ground. Arkham has one last chance to redeem himself, but he decides he would rather be power hungry. As tough as this situation is, Lady has no choice but to put an end to his evil ways. She has learned that just because someone is family doesn't mean they are your friend. Blood may make you related, but trust, respect, and kindness makes you family. Mission 20.
Give that to me.
No way. You got your own.
Well, I want yours too.
What are you gonna do with all that power, huh? No matter how hard you try, you're never gonna be like Father.
We're wasting time!
We are the sons of Sparta. Within each of us flows his blood, but more importantly, his soul! And now, my soul is saying it wants to stop you!
Unfortunately, our souls are at odds, brother. I need more power.
And we're supposed to be twins.
Twins. Right. This is the power of Sparta.
For the final duel, I use a similar strategy as last time. I keep my distance to lure him into his long-ranged attacks, which are easier to dodge. If he does get close to me and I get hit, I'll use my Devil Trigger to break free and create more distance between us.
Let's rock!
Finally make a move. if I think of you and all the shit you don't do, well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't
Is that it? Come on.
Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this
Come on,
pain,
Imp.
you already
You will
know.
not forget this devil's power.
Let my money
Be
show.
gone.
I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die.
Rest in peace.
Things you know you love. Do what you think is right.
Come and get me.
Do what you want. So fight and fight.
Now I'm a little motivated.
For the things you know you love.
Too easy.
You think it's right.
Come on.
And see life do what you want. So give me all the scars, I'm a human being. Cover them with
You're
diamonds
going
so
down.
you can't see. Knew it from the start, you had problems
You
with
scared?
me. And the things I could be, I just
You're
wish
not
I
worthy as my
could
opponent.
feel this.
Go to hell.
Already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own.
I'm on fire. Woo! Don't get so cocky.
Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love.
You're gone.
Am I being defeated?
What's wrong? Is that all you got? Come on, get up. You can do better than that.
The portal to the human world is closing, Dante. Because the amulets have been separated.
Let's finish this first. I have to stop you, even if that means killing you.
No one can have this, Dante. It's mine. It belongs to a son of Sparta. Leave me, though, if you don't want to be trapped in the demon world. I'm staying. This place was our father's home.
Dante.
You sure know how to throw a party. No food, no drinks, and the only babe just left.
My sincerest apology, brother. I was so eager to see you, I couldn't concentrate on preparations for the bash.
I'm sure you have time for one more game, right?
Why not? After all, we share the same blood. I'll try it your way for once.
Remember what we used to say? Jackpot.
Are you crying?
Devils never cry.
Maybe somewhere out there, even a devil may cry when he loses a loved one.
That brings our story to an end. In terms of the challenge, on a new playthrough it turned out to be impossible. However, we were able to theoretically work out that on a second playthrough, with all the weapons unlocked, it should be possible to do a full guns only run. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to see more videos in the future. I'll see you next time.